All right, welcome to the All American Hoops podcast. This is episode 43 and an emergency podcast. Obviously going to be doing this very differently. I'm not on the Sports Fluent channel for the first time since episode 9, I want to say, maybe even episode 10. Been a very, very long time. Shout out Sports Fluent for allowing me to be on the show. Thank you, Matthew, for texting me. Matthew's in Vernon now. Wasn't able to come on the show, which is completely fine. So shout out Sports Fluent for being a massive supporter of the All American Hoops podcast. But yeah, we're back. Here I am. Trade went down between the Knicks and the Wolves slightly less than an hour ago, so I just wanted to do an emergency pod. Haven't done that since episode 4, which was another Knicks trade, so very, very excited to talk about that. And we're gonna go really back to our roots with what I'm about to do next, because I'm still gonna do a song, but it's not gonna be the same song because I wasn't able to save that on my personal device. But anyway, really looking forward to an awesome show, and this is the All American Hoops podcast. Welcome to the show. As per usual, I'm your host, Chris Driscoll. Not gonna lie, though I love the new song that I have, the new theme song is amazing. I do kind of miss that old one, because that old one kind of slaps as well, but is what it is. I'm here just to talk basketball now. And I try to get a background here. Is that? Oh, I guess I can't really do that if I try to get the All American Hoops background, but that's okay though. It's been a while since I haven't had a background, but that's okay. Obviously, the Knicks traded for Karl Towns. They gave up Julius, Randle, and Dante DiVincenzo for cats, and then also included a pick. And they also added in some salary fillers. I forgot who it was. It was don't you love? I can just do this now. Daquan Jeffries and draft compensation. So obviously there's a bunch to think about it. I literally just gotten out of the shower. A friend of mine who's a Knicks fan said, dude, can you really see the Knicks just traded for Cat? And I thought, no, he just got pranked. And all due respect, shout out to Maloney. He's a really good friend of mine. And I invited the group chat on the pod tonight. So he did have a chance to defend himself, but he does have a history of falling for bad tweets. So that's what I thought it was. Then I checked my phone real quick just before I made fun of him, because then I checked my phone and no, it's actually happening. There was not one part of me, not at all, thinking that the Knicks were going to go out and trade for Karl Towns, but I'm sure the news with Mitchell Robinson being out for at least the first 2 months motivated them to do so, and they did it in awesome fashion for sure. Excuse me. I think the Knicks just got substantially better. People think that Karl Towns is weak, not as hasn't really lived up to his potential, which you can argue is true. But that being said, Karl Towns is I just made my list recently. I think he's just outside the top 30 and can 100% be the number 2 in a championship team. I don't know if the Knicks can still win a championship. I'll get into that in a second. But I think Cat can absolutely be the number 2 on a championship team. So, the Knicks were looking weak in center. They lost Isaiah Hartenstein to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't want to say they lost him because I don't even know if they're willing to sign him. They definitely weren't willing to sign him for that much money. He was pizza night tonight. They definitely weren't willing to trade him for. Definitely weren't willing to sign Isaiah Hartenstein to that much money. But so obviously they really didn't do much after that. I shouldn't say they didn't do much, because they did. Obviously traded from Mikal Bridges, re-signed OG, but they didn't really do much to address the size. They re-signed Precious Achiuwa, and were willing to just roll into the season with Mitchell Robinson as their starting center. And after that fell through, obviously I think they were willing to start either Precious or Jericho Sims, or even in some games just go small ball with Julius Randle at the 5, and that would have been a recipe for disaster. I know Knicks fans were kind of in denial about it. I wouldn't say Knicks fans. I feel like most fans kind of had the Celtics won, the Knicks 2, without a doubt. I feel like it's kind of consensus, and I just couldn't disagree more. I even said on the podcast last night that I believe the Knicks had a better shot at losing in the first round than making it to the conference finals because of their size, depth, and their overall depth in general, because they don't really have too strong of depth. It's good, but it's not great. And they did get slightly worse in depth. But that being said, I said this in my TikTok video, they just traded for an all-star, and all-stars win you championships. He's not a superstar by any stretch, but if you're not going to have a superstar on your team, which I don't think Brunson's a superstar just yet, you need to have a couple of all-stars and have some team chemistry, which even though Dante's gone, the Knicks still have some great team chemistry. So I definitely give this an A+ move for the Knicks. Maybe not an A+, but definitely an A move for the Knicks, because now their starting five is going to look like, and I don't know the position you're going to go 2, 3, 4, but Brunson's going to be the one. And I want to say probably Bridget. I don't even know, because I know that Josh Hart could be the 4, but I feel like he would also be best fit at the 2 here. So I don't really know, because I know the Bridges likes playing the shooting guard, but I also feel like he could be the 4 as well. So yeah, I don't know. So just Brunson 1, the 2 through 4, any combination of Bridges, OG, and Hart. I do know that Bridges was going to be the 2 and OG was the 3. So imagining the OG is going to be in the bigger number there, and then obviously Cat at the 5. So I didn't take any screenshots beforehand, which like I usually do. But I do have the Knicks depth chart right in front of me. So Jalen Brunson. So after Jalen Brunson, the backup point guard is going to be Miles McBride still. After that, you got Precious Achiuwa as your backup center. And they really don't have that deep of a bench. I guess Cameron Payne probably might be your backup wing, probably. That's what it looks like. And they re-signed Marcus Morris Sr., so that's good for them. Yeah, their depth is pretty bad, not gonna lie. Like, it's like I thought it was fine, but it's not good. 6-man is gonna be Deuce, probably, with Sims and Precious as your 2 main big guys behind. And then I guess Marcus Morris, who's their other wing that I just said? I forgot who. Not Morris. Technology these days. But they do have one of the best starting fives in the league for sure. I do believe that I do believe that obviously Brunson, Cat, that's actually good there, because we haven't done dynamic duos in the pod, so we might do that next week because of the new duo. Like we did trios, and we did ranking Robins, which Julius Randle was on the list, and John and Matt put Karl-Anthony Towns on their list, but I did not, because I do think that Rudy Gobert is a better player than Cat, which I'll go into the Wolves later after I'm done talking about the Knicks. But yeah, I think Cat is one of the best number 2s in the league. I'd Gobert chest inside the top 10, like 8, so which means Cat would probably be like 9 or 10. So to have one of the best number 2s or a top 10 number 2 in the league, that's huge. And that's my opinion there. And obviously, I feel like at this point, a lot of the season is going to come down to OG and Anunoby's health. Oh, obviously, Mitchell Robinson's going to be the backup center too. But so he's going to be another big one to determine. So yeah, like if I'm going to jot it down, so starting 5: Brunson, Hart, OG, Bridges, Cat. Bench: Deuce McBride at the 1, Mitchell Robinson at the center, with their wings going to be Cameron Payne, although he's the backup, he's the 3rd string point guard, it looks like. And I guess Precious Achiuwa looks like he's a backup center, but he could also run the 4. Sims isn't really a 4, so I guess Marcus Morris Sr. would be the backup power forward, which he's not a good player anymore. So I know that I'd mentioned him a lot on the podcast, but my younger brother Matt, who's on the show all the time, his friend Dean, massive Knicks fans, said they need to make a trade at the deadline, and I do agree with that, but I don't know how much they can get back for what are probably not great bench pieces, so that'll be a very interesting thing to see. I'm getting a few texts from friends to see about how the trade's going down, but or they were on the trade. So I don't know what else to think about that. Anything else for the Knicks? I don't really think so. No one's watching now, but yeah, they can watch in the morning. I want to say then with the Knicks, I'll talk about the standings in a second, but yeah, I'm just going to move over to the Wolves now. And then once I'm done with the Wolves, I'm going to talk about where the Knicks rank in the against other contenders in the East. So the Wolves, I'll call a spade a spade. I think the Wolves became a worse team today. As much as people talked about the struggles between Cat and Gobert, it wasn't as bad as people said it was. They ended up being a 1 seed last year, and the Wolves were better with Cat and Gobert playing at the same time. Want to say they had a ceiling with the 2 big men and like 2 slow guys out there. Fine, but I really thought they could have won a championship with that core. I thought with Anthony Edwards on the rise, he's becoming one of the best players in the league right now. Wolves bench got better. I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. So, and I went through the depth chart with the Knicks, so I'll go through it with the Wolves. The point guard is Mike Conley. 2 guard, Anthony Edwards. 3, Jaden McDaniels. 4, Julius Randle. 5, Rudy Gobert. So I had the Knicks right in front of me, so I'm going to pull up the Wolves right now. So Wolves depth charts. So Dante's going to be one of the first guys off the bench. He'll probably be the backup 2. It's already updated. Wow. So it looks like they have Dante as both the backup point guard and the backup shooting guard. So yeah, he'll be one of the main guys. Then Joe Ingles is the main wing guy, and then Naz Reid is the center. So outside of yeah, definitely much needed improved depth for sure. So that's great for them there. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker is one. Rob Dillingham, is he a rookie? I feel like he is, right? Yeah, not many. Yeah, he's a rookie. So Matt had both teams as the second favorite to come out of their conference, and still have them as the second favorites. I'm still the trade is an hour old long, so I don't know if I'd consider the Knicks yet to be the second best in the West. In the East. Obviously, I do have the Celtics number 1. But let me refocus back on the Wolves real quick. Their bench got much better. Obviously, when Ant is going to be off the floor, they need like another scorer off the bench, so that's going to be huge for them. And obviously, even when the minutes that Dante's playing with Ant, obviously Ant is a great rim pressure guy, so having a guy he can swing out to is going to be great as well. But obviously, just training Cat in that sense is really huge for them, because Cat was huge for them in big games, because obviously people give Ant all the credit for that Game 7 win against the Nuggets. It was Karl Towns that was the one pulling through, and I don't know if Julius Randle is going to be that guy to pick it up for them. But it'll be interesting either way. But I do know that people, Julius Randle is an all-time playoff dropper. I know that people say the same thing about Rudy Gobert. I disagree with it, but those narratives are going to be absolutely awful if and when he has a bad playoff moment. But yeah, I guess I'll go start comparing the teams. So out east, so I do have the Celtics still better than the Knicks, because if you go through it by position, I'll go through it by position first. Obviously, Brunson's better than Drew. Derek White is a better player than I'm going to put Josh Hart at the 4, I think. But we'll go through it in each way. So I do think that Derek White's a better player than Mikal Bridges. I know that Jaylen Brown's better than OG Anunoby, and I know that Jason Tatum is better than Josh Hart. After that, Karl Towns is a better player than Porzingis. That's not even including health, because as much as I love Porzingis, Cat is overall better player, worse on defense, but still better overall player. But if we go through it by but yeah, even if we switch around the 2, 3, 4, they're all better. Tatum's better than both Tatum and Brown are better than OG and Bridges, who are the better out of the 3. And I think that, I'm really confident that Derek White's better than Josh Hart too. And I think that 100 people out of 100 would agree with that too. So, but if we go through it 1 through 5, and like best player number 1, best player number 5. So Tatum is a better player than Jalen Brunson. I don't want to hear it from Knicks fans. Jason Tatum is better than Jalen Brunson. After that, Jaylen Brown is better than Karl Towns. I know some people might think that Towns is better than Brown based on like track record and all NBA teams. I'm pretty sure the Cat has more all NBA teams because earlier before Jokic and Embiid, the center position wasn't that strong. But I'm still very confidently taking Jaylen Brown over Karl Towns, especially in the playoffs. Even though I did say the Cat was better in the playoffs, which he is better than people say, but not as good as Jaylen Brown. The third best player in the Celtics is Porzingis. You could argue Drew or Derek White, honestly, but I'm going to say Porzingis. Porzingis is better than Mikal Bridges. Drew Holiday is better than OG Anunoby. And I'm missing. Derek White's better than Josh Hart. So just 1 through 5, best player to best player. 1 through 5, the Celtics clear. And their bench is much better too. Al Horford is better. Al Horford versus Mitch Robinson is an interesting argument, but I want to say that Mitch Robinson did a pretty good job against Embiid too, so I can't really use that against him. But who do I trust more in the playoffs? I trust Al Horford more in the playoffs. He's a better shooter, usually more available, but he's getting older, so maybe might not be as available in certain games. But And I also do trust the Celtics end of the bench guys. I trust Peyton Pritchard. I trust Sam Hauser. I trust Luke Cornett. So very easily taking the Celtics over the Knicks as of today. The other teams, though, I've been saying the Bucks are the number 2 team in the East for months now. Again, if we go through it, and we can't go through it just player by player, which I know is what I just did for the Celtics, but that was only just because I wanted to point out how much more talented the Celtics were, in addition to having all the chemistry from last year. Yeah, the Knicks. This is an upgrade for the Knicks for sure, but one thing I didn't mention is that it might be an issue for them down the stretch when they actually like in the beginning, like when they actually have to implement team chemistry and everything, because the Bucks struggled with that big time last year. Although the starters were better with the starting line was pretty elite though. So the Celtics are not the Celtics. The Knicks against the Bucks is interesting. Again, position by position, which is flawed. Dame versus Brunson. Brunson is a better player than Damian Lillard today. I do, however, think there's a world where Damian Lillard outplays Jalen Brunson in a playoff series, which I know everyone disagrees with. Everyone sees Brunson as the shiny object, which he's a lot of fun to watch, but Damian Lillard has a history of going off in the playoffs, which he can 100% do that, especially against like a guy like Brunson who struggles on defense. But then again, it would probably be OG or Bridges guarding him. 2 guard, Gary Trent versus Mikal. Mikal is going to be much better than him. Middleton, small forward. I think Chris Middleton's better than OG Anunoby. And who guards Giannis? Is that going to be OG, I guess? You know, obviously Giannis is the hands down the best out of that group. And then center, Brook Lopez is getting older. And then after that, yeah, Malik Beasley is the 6th man. So yeah, this cat trade may have won me over for the Knicks versus the Bucks, because even though their defense is better with Robinson, which you have both Robinson and Cat. So their defense is, I don't even think their defense is going to take it, because Cat isn't horrible on defense. But even though their depth got worse, the Knicks do have a better starting five than the Bucks, and that's the only way the only way the Bucks do have the better starting five is if Damian Lillard comes back, which I do think he will come back, but he like enters into like 2019 Dame mode in 2024, which I want to see for 2019, because 2023 he was pretty elite too. So if he turns into like some version like in between 2023 and 2024, that might be good enough. But I feel like in order for them to like actually contend for a championship, he needs to be more like 2023 Dame. Yeah, that's what I think there. Then other contenders out in the East, the Sixers. Who got the Sixers? So Maxey versus Brunson. Brunson is a much better player today. I think that Tyrese Maxey's become a little overrated. He's not really much of a floor raiser. Didn't really help the Sixers after Embiid got hurt last year. Pretty brutal on defense, just like Brunson, but I do trust Brunson's ability to lead his team a little bit more. Maxey was awesome in the playoffs last year, but Brunson was a little bit better. The Sixers shooting guard, I believe, is Kelly Oubre. Oubre versus I think Oubre is worse than Bridges and OG, but he's probably better than, I don't even know if he's better than Josh Hart. That's a tough one. I do believe that Paul George is better than all three of those guys, though, than Hart, Bridges, and OG. And therefore, I want to say is obviously Embiid is going to be the best player on between both teams, but who the hell is there for? It's not Nick Batum. He's on the Clippers now. Caleb Martin, screw that guy. So I don't know. Yeah, I definitely trust the Knicks more. So maybe now that I'm going through now, I probably will take the Knicks second. Yeah, I'm a big Karl Anthony Towns guy, so I do think that there is a world where they make conference finals. Not only is there a world, I'm very close to picking them. However, there are more teams in the East besides the three ones that I just said. The Magic are getting better. The Pacers are young, getting better. The Cavs, I'm a big believer in the Cavs, despite even though they like they kind of, it seems like they run into a wall every year. They went up against the Celtics last year. They beat the Celtics in game 2, and Donovan Mitchell got injured. Not saying they would have beaten the Celtics. They definitely would not have. But fully healthy, which we haven't seen them fully healthy in the past 2 years now, I believe. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro. I don't even know. I don't think he's a starting small forward on the team now, but I could be wrong. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. That is a lethal defensive team just with the defensive backcourt. The front no, sorry, defensive front court. Their backcourt isn't that good, but still a killer defensive backcourt and one that could give the Knicks trouble. So yeah, don't be surprised if you see the Cavs make it to the conference finals this year. But either way, I think there are 8 teams that could make the conference finals. I think obviously the Celtics, the Knicks, the Sixers, the Bucks, the Pacers, the Magic, the hang on, let me start over. So the Celtics, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Pacers, the Magic, the Heat. See, I didn't go in order. That's problem. Oh, the Sixers and someone else. But yeah, I think the top 8, basically just the top 8 teams that made the playoffs last year. I think all of them could make the conference finals. I would cut the Heat out of there, but I cut them out in 2023 and 2020. Oh, no, was it 2023 and 20? Yeah, I guess 2023 and 2022. But they were the first team in 2022. But still, I wasn't really thinking they were going to be that good heading into the year. So the Heat aren't as bad as people say they are, but yeah, they could be bad again this year. Jimmy Butler is getting older. I do trust Spo more than anyone, and I trust Bam Adebayo in the playoffs has done too. So yeah, don't be surprised if they make another appearance in the conference finals. Yeah, no one else really out east. East is wide open. East is wide open. Like as far as it goes for 2 through 7, I do think the Celtics are the overwhelming favorites as of now. Looking at it objectively, it's hard to look at it on like a different lens, given that I'm a huge Celtics fan. But objectively speaking, they are hands down the best team. And looking back at this might be considered a jinx, but I'm talking at this moment, the Celtics are the best team. It's going to take a lot, like a locker room explosion, an injury for the Celtics to not make the finals again this year. Then for the West is wide open, 1 through 8. I think the Thunder are going to be the best team in the West. They were the first seed this year and added Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein and really didn't give up much besides Josh Giddey, who was like a young upcoming player, but he was very bad last year. So, yeah, the Thunder improved for sure, but it's not that they were frauds of a 1 seed, but I just really don't know what their ceiling was. They ran into the Mavs, who ends up making the finals. And they really could have won the series because Game 6 really came down to free throws at the end of the game. So do I think, yeah, there was a world where the Thunder could have made the finals last year, but obviously that didn't happen. But I don't know. The Thunder were one of the best teams all year long, and then they just improved. So it's hard to not consider them contenders. Obviously, the Nuggets on paper got worse because they got rid of KCP and added on Westbrook. But that being said, they may have just lost to the Wolves because it was like a tough matchup for them. I don't know if they would have beaten the Thunder, the Mavs, the Suns. I think they really the only team they would have lost to was the Wolves, in my opinion. I think they would have been the Mavs and the Thunder. So yeah, I still trust the Nuggets for sure. That might be just because of a Jokic bias thing, and like superstar bias, but superstars win you championships, and that's exactly what Nikola Jokic is. And I'm taking that. I don't know if I'm taking them ahead of the Wolves or not. You know what? Screw it. Yes, I am actually. Again, unless they're gonna play Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert a lot together, which they shouldn't. Jokic is going to go back to dominating, in my opinion. So, Matt McCann, what's up? What are your thoughts on the trade, Matt? I already went through the Wolves in the finals. Okay, yeah. I just touched upon that quickly. I'm going through the teams in the West because I trust the Thunder more. The Nuggets are a tough one because the Nuggets were a tough matchup last year against the Wolves. But I still think the Nuggets are a better team than the Wolves. Maybe that's a Jokic superstar bias thing, but I'm not sure. After that, outside the top 2, all right, just name the top 3, I should say. Who's the 4 seed? I don't trust the Mavs at all. I'm taking the Wolves over the Mavs for sure. The Clippers, I think, are falling down a little bit. Thunder's still young. Let me show this. I'll show this on my screen. The Thunder's still young, less late run experience. Nuggets match up poorly still. Do they match up that poorly though? Because I feel like part of the reason why John Foreman, what's up? I feel like part of the reason why the who do you call it? I feel like the reason why the Wolves match up so well with the Nuggets is because Cat was like a big body, able to take on Jokic. Naz Reid can be that guy, but he was like the backup center. Can Julius Randle be the guy to body up Jokic while Rudy Gobert is the roamer? I don't know if he can. Shout out John Foreman, by the way. Celtics going to win it all? I sure as hell hope so. So but maybe you want to say the Nuggets still don't match up well because they don't really have many 3-and-D defenders anymore. Got to KCP. So, yeah, I'm 100% on board with that there. So maybe they have to make another trade. Although, trades are going to be really hard. The trades are really hard now, especially with like a lot of teams that are over the threshold, by the way. Which, by the way, shout out. I didn't really give him enough credit for it at the time because I didn't really think it was worth it. But shout out Jalen Brunson for that pay cut because they wouldn't be able to afford Karl Anthony Towns now without it. Anyone else out west besides the teams that I just listed? The Thunder, the Nuggets. Who else am I missing? I talked about the Mavs. I don't believe in them one bit. The Clippers are going to fall down, as I said. The Suns, I think, are going to get better, but which Budenholzer announced today, the starting five is going to be very small. It's going to be It's going to be Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic. That is up there for one of the worst defensive lineups I've ever seen. I don't know how good Tyus Jones is. Spurs. Yeah, the legendary Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama matchup. That'll be very interesting to see. Matt Driscoll, Matt McCann. We were talking about it last night in the pod. I should say Matt McCann. You were typing about it last night in the pod. John Foreman will answer that question a little bit. I talked about it earlier. I don't think anyone was on here when I was talking about it. Gonna have to edit my Robin list now. Take out someone. Who did I take out there? Because I'm not gonna take out Gobert, but like, yeah, who did I take out? Would I take out Randle? Yeah, I had to take out Randle because he's no longer a Rodman. Rudy Gobert is a better player than Julius Randle. That's what I think. Gonna have to get into a big discussion with our fantasy drafts, which John Foreman, shout out him again. Who are you going to take in the first round of your big fantasy draft tomorrow? And will Matt McCann three-peat? First of all, he didn't win last year. John Driscoll did. Second of all, obviously the big three I think are going to be Jokic, Luka, and Shea. Maybe Embiid too. John Morant, Trae Young. I hope that Tatum's going to be up there, Matt McCann, but we'll see. So I do believe talked about this. I feel like I'm missing a team though. Out west that I don't know who I missed talking about. I was like jotting down my predictions list the other day. Like this was when I was. For those of you who don't know, I mentioned that I'm a teacher before, and one of the things I do that like teachers have to do is they have to do like a duty, whether it be like lunch duty, bus duty, so just making sure everyone's going smoothly. One thing that I do is bathroom duty, which no pun intended, by the way. I just make sure the kids sign in and out of the bathroom, and I just sit at my desk like while I do that. So I was jotting down my standing position, but I don't have that on me right now. But out west, Ron, holy shit. How do you feel, Ron? This is a big trade for you. I really wish that I texted you personally, actually, because I know you're not in the group chat, but I kind of wish I had you on now, even though I'm imagining you're not in the best state of mind to do so. But the Kings. I don't really trust the Kings, really. Big fan of the duo and Fox and Sabonis. Obviously, big DeRozan fan as well, but what's their ceiling, really? Not much. It's a tough one. Thoughts on the Clippers post Paul George trade? I think the Clippers might be better. The Clippers are going to be very hit or miss. I know that Jason Tiff made a video the other day regarding 7 people watching, by the way. So shout out Matt Driscoll for probably texting his friends to get everyone to join. So appreciate that. Maybe Matt McCann, honestly, too, but I don't know. So shout. The Clippers are going to be pretty hurt. Yeah, Jason Tiff made a video saying that he thinks the Clippers are going to be a top 5 seed in the West. That is not a bad take. If Kawhi Leonard stays healthy, which he stays healthy in the regular season usually, I shouldn't say that, actually. He has, in the past 2 years, he has stayed healthy in the regular season and has been one of the best players in the league. So Kawhi Leonard plays to that ability. The Clippers' ceiling is, they don't have a ceiling. We saw how elite they were in the couple months there. We saw Kawhi Leonard looking like an MVP candidate in my power rankings, which I think my first article that I'm going to write is about the trade, the Karl Anthony Towns trade. So we saw the Clippers as one of the best teams in the league. I don't think they will be the best team in the league. I don't think there's going to be any point where I say they're one of the best teams in the league this year, but top 5 seed, 100% on the table. So we just passed the half-hour mark, which I said was going to be like 20, 30 minutes. Ryan McMahon is the only Wolves fan that I know besides the 2 guys on Strictly B-Ball who aren't really on TikTok anymore. But I was emotional and a little unhappy in the moment, but I like the trade overall after giving it real thoughts. I'm happy you feel that way. maybe I just don't. Maybe I'm just giving Julius Randle not enough respect, or same thing with Dante DiVincenzo. I think the Dante DiVincenzo is good, but I don't know how much. I don't know how good of a six man he's going to be. But I'm very very excited to see, because like obviously the NBA is a 12-month season, and just when I thought the offseason was done, it's not anymore. So very very excited to go over that. But getting pretty late now, so I think that's it for me for now. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Just doing it on my own channel. I'm both live on Twitter and YouTube now. Matthew and your friends, appreciate you guys coming on. As as per usual, follow me on all my social media sites. All Megan Hooper on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which some of you are watching it through that now. Some of you are watching through Twitter. Also subscribe to @SportsFluence to catch every episode on Thursdays at 8:00. What else? Follow @SportsFluence on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as well. I didn't go live under SportsFluence. I didn't want to bother him at 10:30 at night, texting him to make some live stream for me, so I just figured I'd do it on my own channel. But yeah. So thanks so much for tuning into another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Signing off like OG. Drink, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Call your mother, gentlemen. Have a great night.